Well, hello everyone. How are we doing this evening? Welcome to the stream. Checking out, making sure I'm going live, making sure my mic's working.
Sony Computer Entertainment America presents a Universal Interactive Studios production. A game created and developed by Naughty Dog.
Hey Jerome, welcome to the stream.
Crash Bandicoot 4.
You're on the you think you're on the first stage?
Press start.
I think I'm on the first stage of Lollipop Chainsaw. Definitely a fantastic game, so glad you bought it. Yeah, I've had that game for a little while. I think, are you playing it on a PS3, I'm assuming? Or is that Xbox? Because I think I have it on both. Because I remember I played Enslaved, which is a good game, on... Oh darn it, my mic fell over here. I grabbed it on PlayStation 3 because I didn't have it. I thought I did, and then I had it playing on an Xbox anyway, which is the platform I did have it on. PS3, nice. That was supposed to be final. So, yeah, it's been a little while since I played it. I was trying to think of, like, the last... Because that's kind of a more expensive game to collect nowadays, too, isn't it? Lollipop Chainsaw. I was trying to think of the last, like... There's another game that kind of fits that aesthetic. It's not Lollipop Chainsaw. It's kind of like, I would say like a beat-em-up brawler that's kind of rare and expensive on PS3 and Xbox. I had just grabbed it not too long ago. Maybe it was Lollipop Chainsaw. But I played that earlier this year. Didn't play it on stream because it's M-rated. Yeah, with a game like this, so you never know if it's going to be the final stage or not, right? Like, I do have it. I was trying to think of what other game it could possibly be, but I'll probably never come up with it.
Press start.
Let's see what I have. Oh, didn't they just remaster that game, too? I misspoke. The only platform I have Lollipop Chainsaw on is the PlayStation 3. It says I've had it in my collection for a while. It was one that was recommended to me as kind of a hidden gem back before the collectability of it, like, shot up. Yeah. Because, yeah, you're not going to believe how much I paid for it. And at the time, I thought it was expensive for a PlayStation 3 game. Okay, you said you paid $45, but you think the guy wanted $50 for it, so didn't want to go more for that. Yeah, the guide says $46, so I would say anywhere between $40 and $50. Maybe actually $40. Could have been a wise decision. So yeah, paying $45 is right on the money. Yeah, it's one of the more pricey. That's what I was saying. It's because I bought it. I want to say I got it on clearance. I want to say I got it brand new and not used. Because it was just one of those games where I was like, you know what? I got to do. I got to grab it because it's going to be one that I'm going to want to play that nobody else has played. Why can't I think of the other game? So I'm looking up hidden gems for the PlayStation 3 and seeing if that'll come up there.
Press start.
Oh, 3D Dot Heroes is another one. I like that one a lot. I know we've talked about it. If you don't like old school Legend of Zelda or Octopath Traveler kind of games, then you might not like this one, but yeah, it's definitely one that I like there. Resonance of Fate is another one that came up as a hidden gem. I'm looking at a... it's not Bulletstorm, but I thought that it kind of has... I would almost call it like a bullet hell cyberpunk-ish. I remember it had extreme amounts of gore. I mean, I'm kind of describing Lollipop Chainsaw now that I think about it, but it's just that name's not coming. Yours was used in great shape, complete in box. So if you wonder how much I paid for it, it was like $15-20, but that was like 7-8 years ago. So I don't know, I probably got ripped off back then. Yeah, The complete in-box price in 2019, which is when I think I got it, I may have grabbed it in 2018. The complete in-box price for it was like $12. So yeah, it shot up post-pandemic. And at most, it was worth 76. The market's kind of cooled on it a bit. I was going to say, if you paid less than 70, I thought you were going to say you got an excellent deal. But I didn't know what the pricing had done to it lately, so I still think you got a good deal on it. You paid what market value is for it. So that's not bad at all. Yeah, you're getting on the ground floor of everything. Well, that's the thing. I picked it up because it was a crime of opportunity. Like, I saw it, I'm like, oh, I've heard that's a hidden gem, I might as well just grab it. But I didn't go looking for it. It was just like, it was a crime of opportunity. That's the same with a lot of my PlayStation games, by the way. There's another one called Sorcery. I think that's a hidden gem on there for that. If I think of the name of that other game, I'll say it, but I don't, it's not coming to my mind at the moment. Remember, it's M-rated. Heavy emphasis on like a beat 'em up, or maybe it's like a third-person shooter. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's not a hidden gem, but Journey, if you haven't played that on the PlayStation 3, is pretty darn good. I like that one. Star Wars The Force Unleashed being a hidden gem? Oh, here we go. Enslaved came up on here. Which is a good game. I don't know if I call it a hidden gem or not. I guess that one would be. Wet. Wet is the game. Couldn't think of it for a while. That is the last, like, PlayStation 3, like, rarity game that I didn't want to pay that much for, but I ended up getting it for a decent deal. Yeah, I have it for $360, and I just grabbed it for the PlayStation 3 not too long ago. They went $35 for it now. Yeah, when I grabbed it, it was like $25, so... Yeah, that's another one, too. So, it's not like that, but it just kind of reminded me of those hidden gem games. I guess now that it's available as a remake, because is it called Repack, Repop, something like that? For the remaster? It's just because I've been collecting for so long, I've kind of gotten all the games that are pricey back in the day. If they were still like under $40, I just grab them. And then, no joke, it was just sheer luck that I was able to get that game because, I mean, that it skyrocketed in price. That's the thing, sheer luck that it skyrocketed. There's a bunch of games that I got that I'm like, oh, that'll never shoot up in value. That did. I think the luckiest I got was for the GameCube. Like, I grabbed a bunch of the most desirable titles right now that are out there for cheap from GameStop when they were clearancing them out in preparation for the Wii U. So that was another one. I'm going to go ahead and start the game so we can get going on this. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm playing Crash Bandicoot 3, you're like, have I ever played this on stream before? Yes, I have. If you've been with me for at least a year, you may know that I play this game once a year on stream in commemoration of playing it for the first time every year since 1999. Summer of 99, my parents got a PlayStation 1 because my brother was going to have to spend a lot of time inside because he had surgery. Couldn't go outside over the summer, so they got him a PlayStation to kind of keep him preoccupied and make it not feel like a punishment. And the first game I got for it was A Bug's Life. My brother got not Porsche Unleashed, a High Stakes Need for Speed. And then for my birthday that August, I requested, I knew nothing about it. I just saw this game case at Walmart, and I was like, I want this game. It's called Crash. I didn't know it was called Crash Bandicoot. Crash Warped. And so I played through these games backwards. So I played Crash 2. Later on that Christmas, I got, after saving up some allowance, I got Crash Bandicoot 2. I'm sorry, that wasn't a Christmas. I saved us some money like in October, and I got Crash Bandicoot 2, and for Christmas of 99, I requested Crash Bandicoot 1. And my parents didn't mind buying them because they were the greatest hits version, so they were $20 each. Except for Crash 2, I bought at GameStop for $15. I think I actually ended up borrowing some money from a friend to buy it. I mean, I was like 99, I would have been 13 years old. So... And I play through them like back to back to back, were those next 3 games that I did. So I might play through them backwards on this stream, but I'm definitely gonna get through this one tonight. Yeah, this is my As you're playing, you know what reminded me about playing these, by the way? Because I actually forgot it was August. Like this morning, like I woke up, like on Friday, I forgot that was August 1st. I thought we were still in July. So, yeah, what reminded me about it is I was posting the poll, which I haven't done yet. I was posting the poll, and I saw one of my previous posts came up as a memory, and it said, "Oh, do you want to talk about, post a memory from last year?" And I asked the poll last year about this time. It's time for me to replay Crash Bandicoot. Do you want to see the original Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation 1 or the Insane Trilogy? So that reminded me, oh yeah, I gotta play a Crash Bandicoot because it's August. And this one is my favorite. I personally love Crash Bandicoot Warped. It was the first one I played, so that makes it nostalgic. Crash 2 usually takes the crown as the favorite. I'm going to create a save in case we get crashed. Yeah, this was my introduction to platformers on the PS1. So the first game I played was A Bug's Life, then I played Need for Speed High Stakes, and then I played this game. And this was the first game where I was like, alright, this game's good. Like, A Bug's Life was okay. Ah, gosh darn it. I got a backspace. Player 1. There we go. And this one has the best theme, and if you don't believe me, it's the one they've reused almost all the time. Up until Crash Bandicoot 4 came out. It's about time. There we go. So we're going to play through this. Let me catch up on chat here real quick, and then we'll start the game. I also like doing this endlessly. I like going up to the... Oh yeah. Feel that dual shock. So the dual analog controller came out for Crash 2. Basically, these games evolved with the PlayStation controller. The first Crash Bandicoot supports the first PlayStation controller without the dual analog sticks. Dual analog came out in '97, so Crash 2 supported the analog sticks. And then Dual Shock came out, and this is one of the only things that is immediate. Like this supports the Dual Shock. I don't know if you can hear the controller vibrating by the microphone, but that was one of the things there. So he said Lollipop Chainsaw. Oh, and Deadpool. I just saw Deadpool. The price on that's starting to come down a little bit too. I noticed it because it wasn't in the display case. It was in the
Crash.
Oh, and by the way, if you guys didn't recognize this, the guy who voices Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob is this guy.
I have a mask helping me, too. We will find out which one is more powerful soon enough.
Oh, his name is escaping me off the top of my head. But if you guys have seen The Shawshank Redemption, he's the tall, not the warden, the tall head guard. Why am I not thinking of his name? Somebody will think of it before I do. He was the original voice, but he wasn't the original voice. He was the voice of Dr. Neo Cortex in this one and the second game, I believe. Oh, why is it not coming to my head? Mark Hamill voices a villain in Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex. Man, I used to know his name off the top of my head, now I can't think of it. Dementia's sinking in. This is also not quite my birthday yet, so... Hey Rick, welcome to the stream. How are we doing this evening? Clancy Brown. Came into my head. I think that's the guy's name. I almost said Tom Clancy. I'm like, that's not it. Rainbow Six Siege? Fine myself. Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I will say, getting a little anxious. We got 14 days for me until the kids come back to school, so... I'm sorry, not even 14 days now. That was 14 days as of Friday, so it'd be 12 days now? There should be a song for that. On the 12th day of back to school, my teacher said to me... Something about history. Or I can do the Principal Seymour Skinner song. He's walking into school. This is actually the beginning of the Who Shot Mr. Burns episode, if you guys don't remember how that started out. Principal Skinner's going to open the school for the first day of school, I think. And he goes, "School's back in session. Let's begin the lesson." And he says, "There's nothing better than the smell of school on a crisp morning." And he goes, "Ugh, the school doesn't normally smell so rank." That funk must be because and he smells himself and he's like, "Nope. Nice and fresh. That funk must be coming from one of the classrooms." And then it turns out the gerbil, the school, one of the class pets, the gerbil, super dude, had passed away and was stinking up the cage. I think those are both, maybe I'm confusing two different scenes, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. I know the gerbil dies. Yeah, I know, Rick. I am the same way. Like I said, I'm getting anxious now because there's so much stuff still to be done. And in my position, I'm actually taking on more of a teaching role this year. I'm teaching 2 additional classes, so I'll be teaching half the day in addition to my regular full-time school tech person job. So I basically have like 1.5 jobs for the school now. And so I'm usually nervous at the beginning of school because this is the time when the teachers come back in the classrooms and I start getting all the tech requests. Like, oh, my projector isn't turning on, or my Chromebook's not connecting to the docking station or something. And I mean, those come in a lot. Thankfully, this year we do have some additional help. We have a couple teachers in each building that'll help get the rooms back together, help get students' Chromebooks ready to be distributed to them. Oh, darn it. I forgot about that one. But the thing that makes me anxious is on top of it, I have to get ready to teach 3 classes as well. So I'm not. It's not as I am very excited for it, but it's making me anxious because now I'm just like I want to get things done. I want to get this started. And usually it's the waiting before it happens that makes it worse. When it starts, I'll be fine. I just get anxious right beforehand. And while I'm thinking about it, since we're already talking about some back-to-school stuff, I was going to ask Jerome, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, did you have a PlayStation 3 when it was relevant, or did you get into it recently because you feel like you missed out on it, so now you're getting into the library? Because I think I told you, I was not into the Xbox 360, so that's what I've been doing with the 360 ever since I got the Xbox One. Been starting to play through some of the backwards compatible titles. And playing through some of my favorite PlayStation classes that also came out on the Xbox, seeing which one's better, of course. But I was one of the few in my area, my local group of friends too, that had a PlayStation 3. I say one of the few. All of my friends did have a PlayStation 3. My friend Ryan, who has streamed with me before, he had an Xbox 360 to start out with, but I think he considered that his brother's. And then he himself got a PlayStation 3. But then my friend Robert, who's also streamed with me, my friend Jake, who you guys have never seen, like they all had a PlayStation 3, and I think my friend Jake only got it. He wasn't much of a gamer. He got it because it had a Blu-ray player in it, and he wanted a Blu-ray player. I think that was also another thing that helped sell some people who normally wouldn't have gotten a PlayStation on it, was the fact that you could play Blu-ray movies on it. And it's kind of funny. I heard a stand-up comedian talking about the end of physical media. Basically trying to foreshadow, like, you know, if your favorite movie isn't also Jeff Bezos' favorite movie, so apparently you won't be able to watch it. Because they'll just, if they take it offline, you'll just never be able to see it again. So I guess on that, everyone getting their back-to-school shopping done. Hey, Alexa, welcome to the stream. I think you'll have to... Okay. Set off my echo again. You've had a PS3 since 2011? Okay, so I would consider that a bit of a late adopter on it. Actually, the 2011 is about when, like, everyone who I knew that didn't have a PlayStation 3, that's when they started hopping on board, was 2011. He said, however, didn't really have a huge library because the games were pricey. Yes, that's the first generation where they were $60 each. And of course, it took a while for us to acclimate to that because the entire PlayStation 4 generation stayed at $60 too. Did the Wii U games ever get 60? I remember them being 50. The Switch games definitely got up to 60. Revisit the PS3 and dust it off and start buying games for it? Yeah. And I'm going to say this, even though prices are going up on the PlayStation 3, now is still the time to buy PS3 games. There are still plenty, and I mean plenty, of PlayStation 3 games that are under $10 that will provide full AAA HD gaming experiences. I was trying to think of one off the top of my head. One that's still exclusive to the PlayStation 3 is the game Infamous. I just saw it today in a game store, and they were only asking $8 for it, and I said, man, what a steal. $8 for Infamous, and that's going to provide you with at least 15-20 hours of gameplay. I was trying to think of how long it took me to beat it. And it still fits in with the superhero motif. Even though the twist on it, I consider it it's almost like an X-Men game. Normal person gets superpowers, but he's like the only one. And he's not really necessarily a superhero. That's where the game Infamous comes in. Then Infamous 2 was awesome. I liked Infamous Second Son, which is compatible on the new stuff, but that's not one too. We can start going through, Jerome, if you want to, with our favorite PS3 games that you got. You were just talking about Lollipop Chainsaw too, but that's more of a pricier one. Oh, maybe almost 3 now. That's why, yep, buying as many PS3 games as you can before the prices shoot up. Yeah, and that's the thing too. There's still a lot of games like PlayStation 3 still has exclusives that are locked to it because they haven't been remastered yet. There's a lot to talk about, by the way, too. Somebody don't let me forget that we have to talk about the Nintendo Partner Direct, because there's a couple games coming on, that's coming on too. The big school summer holiday started here a week ago in the UK. Interesting. Kids are off now until the 1st of September. Okay. Which is mainly doing PC gaming right now. For consoles, going old school, yep. 2600, 7800, INTV. Man, that's amazing. Do enjoy watching modern gaming streams on modern consoles. Lots of fun to watch, yep. So, it's kind of funny. Would you consider this console I have right now to be a modern console? I guess PlayStation 3 is retro now. It is vintage. It is 12 years since they switched. 12 years ago, the PlayStation 4 came out, and isn't it crazy that it still has full online support and still has games coming out for it? Like, I thought for sure after a couple years they would stop and go, PlayStation 3 is what you have to go with now. I'm sorry, PlayStation 5 is what you have to go with now, and we're just going to cancel all that stuff, but they still haven't. And I think part of it is because of how many people are still on it. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Sorry. I'm trying to pull up the poll so you guys can vote. There we go. Nope, that just says delete. I want to get this link. Alright. This is everything tonight, by the way, has not been cooperating with me, so let's see what this 16. Best graphics. So I'm posting the poll question that's currently out for this week. You can still vote, by the way, for the other 2 weeks. Oh yeah, I can't pin it on the other platform, so you just have to do that because it's a link to an exterior site. They don't really care for that, do they? Sure, get that. And away we go. Yeah, I always... Oh, here we go.
Ooga Ooga and Cortex want Tiny get crystals and bring them to Big Colosseum in Rome. Crash! Leave them for Tiny, or Crash get crushed!
There we go. Yeah, PlayStation 3, though, still has online support, but it doesn't have full online support. So one of the caveats is you can't buy games, but you can redeem games on PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Store on there. And the difference is you can't add money to your account, but if you add money to your account using a PS4 or PS5, then you can still buy games on the PlayStation 3, which is a steal. There are some digital games on there that never released physically, or had a very limited release physically, that are super expensive, but they're still like $10 or less on the, oh no. Where they're still $10 or less on the digital storefront. And I will not advocate for buying digital titles on there, except for if it's like really cheap, because I don't know how much longer they're going to keep it to where you can download stuff. PlayStation 3 launched in 2006, 19 years ago. And yes, they've tried to shut down the store once. They just haven't been able to do it. Yep. Didn't realize the PS1 and 2 came out over 20 years ago. Yep. I think that because of the way the PlayStation 1's graphics have aged, I think this started looking retro right when PlayStation 2 came out. And the N64, forget about it. That system, those graphics have, I don't think, aged very well at all. Even with an upscaler, they use some sort of blurry technology. There's someone else who goes into it a lot more detail and has the proper terminology. But everything in it has like a blur that CRTs would have shown very sharply, but modern displays don't. So those graphics didn't age as well on the N64, because they used a lot of hardware trickery for CRTs to show better graphics than they were really capable of showing. Yeah, fail to realize how fast time goes. So yeah, when you think of PlayStation 20 years ago, you probably think of PlayStation 1. That's PlayStation 30 years ago. PlayStation 20 years ago is still PlayStation 2, but a year from now, or a year from then at 19, that's PlayStation 3. I have been making this argument for probably the last like 5 years. I've been calling the Wii a retro console for a while. I'm like, yep. Shoot. Okay, good. It's just much easier to hit those from the guns, but I screwed that up a lot. Honestly, you're astonished at how good, how astonished at how good the PlayStation 3 games look, and that's the thing. There are still some games that are being released right now that a PlayStation 3 can keep up with. Because not everyone's trying to maximize what each console can do. So, I remember somebody was making the argument, and if you're on here, let me know. Last time, like, oh! That was so close. Because I think he instantly kills you, even if you have a mask. Someone's making the argument that the Switch 2 wasn't worth it because they don't like it when people release underpowered hardware, and I get that perspective. But I mean, even there's things that are releasing for the Switch 2 that won't even push that hardware to its limits. Brand new games. But I always said, like, the original Switch is kind of close to what a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 could do. And I was going to say, Jerome, that's another thing. The PlayStation 3, no matter which model of PlayStation 3 you get, I have been educating people on this because a lot of people either don't know or get confused with backwards compatibility. Every PlayStation 3 can play PlayStation 1 games. But not every PlayStation 3 game can play I'm sorry, not every PlayStation 3 can play PlayStation 2 games. You have to have one of the original models or the second revision. I guess it'd be the first revision. The second edition, there you go. To play PlayStation 2 games. So yeah, it amazes me that PlayStation 1 games didn't shoot up in value as much. I mean, they kind of have a little bit, but I mean, you can still get all the Crash games, I think, for under $20 each. And the only reason why I'm playing this on a PlayStation 2 instead of on a PS3 is because I already had it hooked up, and my PlayStation 3 is not hooked up at the moment. All PlayStation 3s have HDCP, or the copy protection, turned on by default. So to get around it, you have to either use component cables and convert it to HDMI or something like that if you want to stream it. Sorry, I'm gonna have to do this. Also on PS3, you can make you don't have to make a Japanese account unless you want to get the digital storefront for Japan. So yes, you can do that. But PS3, region free. So for PS3 games, I don't think I've ever tested it though. I should. I have some PlayStation 2 games that are from Japan, but I have a Japanese PlayStation 2 to play Japanese PS1 and PS2 games. But I have a few imports for the PlayStation 3 from Japan, and they play fine. So PS3 is region free for PS3 titles. I don't know about... man, that was terrible. I'm going to try that again. I don't know about PS2 and PS1 games, but PS3 so far has played every region I've thrown out. I have one game from Europe. It's a PAL release. Dang it. How did I miss that again? Not a lot of practice on this one. It's Ratchet & Clank Quest for Booty. The reason why I bought it is because it was a digital-only release and I wanted a physical copy for when the PS3 store goes down. So I imported that from, I want to say it was the UK. It's got the PAL region, maybe UK age rating on it. Oh, I got too close. Two more. And now I have all the gems and the crystals for that one. Yeah, like Winds of Thunder for $7. Yep. Good question, Rick. Let me do the counting. Rick asks, so the PS1 is a 5th gen console and PS5 is 6th. Let's do the math. First gen is Magnavox Odyssey and Pong Home System. Then we have second gen, which was the Atari 2600, Intellivision, ColecoVision. Third gen was NES, Master System, 7800. That was third gen. Fourth gen, which is what I'm currently reviewing on the 16-bit war stuff, is Super Nintendo. Yeah, so 5th gen. The math works out. And David, oh, by the way, welcome, David, to the stream. And you can watch YouTube. Yep. Oh yeah, you can. There's a lot of things that still work on the PlayStation 3 that don't work on other consoles. Like you can't watch YouTube on the Wii anymore. Or Netflix. I think, does Netflix still work on the PS3? I think they abandoned it finally.
Crash! Coco! Store the pretty crystals! Tiny, take them back! In Gladiator Arena!
And the web browser still works on it too, although it's going to be really slow and say, oh no, we can't load web pages right because the web has changed a lot in the last 19 years. But they had updates for a while. Yeah, the PS3 is what I recommend to people who are just like, I don't want to spend a lot on gaming, but I also don't want to cheap out and get like, they want their kids to play like modern games, but not have to pay a lot of money. I tell them, get them a PS3. Because they can still play online, just not probably with their friends, unless they also have a PS3 for some weird reason. But then they still offer modern gaming experiences. Heck, Minecraft is still available, and you can play it on the PlayStation 3. I would have said 360 up until the point that they shut it down. So you can't... Xbox Live is not a thing on the 360 anymore. I think there's workarounds that you can do, and the Wii is also in the same boat for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know, it's like I played this game before. But yeah, if they're not going with retro, if they're not going with 2D titles, I say PlayStation 3.
Well done, children. By defeating Tiny, you have unlocked the gate to the next time travel area. Go back to the center of this time twister and save your progress if you wish. From there, you will see that the gate to the second time travel area is now open.
I'm gonna ask David, are you watching me right now on your PlayStation 3? Through YouTube? I actually don't know how this would look. Oh, another thing too is you can still do like home media streaming stuff on a PlayStation 3. It's got all that stuff built in. It's like the Windows Media Server Protocol is what I called it, but it's more generic than that. I forgot what they actually call it. So like I have a digital tuner that plugs into my network so I can watch live TV on any computer. And you usually have to pay for an app for it, but the PlayStation 3 automatically identified it on my network and I could watch any TV channel on it. It's kind of insane. Like, I just bought this tuner, like, in March, and I can use my PlayStation 3 in rooms where I don't have an Apple TV or a Roku to be able to play it. So, no, but you still do when working on with your iPad. Yeah, absolutely. And, yeah, I was going to say that the iPad that I use is also stuck on a little bit. So far, it can still do everything, but I'm starting to get warnings on apps that my iOS version will no longer be supported with the next update, so I'm like, uh-oh.
Why must you continue to be a thorn in our side?
What? Where was I? Oh, Tiny was a good fellow. He hated everyone and everything, but a good heart nonetheless. Please be more reasonable with my minions next time.
Oh my gosh, you guys got me feeling so nostalgic today. Not that I don't always when I'm playing some retro games, but I remember back in the day, not that I ever used to download movies, but I remember the PlayStation 3, I think, could it play the Windows Media Video format, WMV? Can't remember, but there's a way that you can put movies on a flash drive back in the day, and you can watch them, but I remember my parents didn't have a way of watching them on their TV, so I was like, I could spend like a couple $100 on a box that I can plug a flash drive into, or I can just have my PlayStation 3 hooked up down there and they can watch it on those. Like, there was so much stuff I used my PlayStation 3 for back in the day, other than just gaming. It's kind of surprising that, I think it's kind of surprising that, oh, I just lost the thought. Yeah, you can remote control your PS3 through your iDevice. Make playlists while working? Yes, because it supports that media protocol that I was talking about. Media server protocol. The same thing, Windows Media Center used that same protocol. And I used to use that back in the day. I had Windows 8, and I would have, like, again, a tuner plugged into my Windows 8 laptop. And that's how I used to record and DVR shows back in the day, because I didn't feel like paying for a DVR. I didn't have enough storage for stuff. Oh, I knew it. See, I'm actually thinking about my home media server that used to be that was running on a Windows 8 box, and probably I had a Windows, I don't know if I had a Windows 7 laptop. No, I had a Windows Vista laptop, that's what it was. That I upgraded to a Windows 8. A little mini PC that I got on a Black Friday deal on Amazon. Just so I can keep streaming my shows, but then when Windows Media Center stopped supporting a TV guide, it basically became useless for live TV, so I stopped using it. But another thing too is that it could read, and that's, I'm not going to make it, darn it. I'll get there. I said it could read and do something. And now I lost my mask. Yeah, that's crazy to think all that stuff on there, because I bought a DVD recorder to replace my VCR for that. Oh yeah, it could read cable TV signals. So the only thing that you had to have was a guide to be able to tell it, hey, I want to record this show every time it airs in the guide. Otherwise, you had to like program it very manually on when to record stuff, which is why when the guide went away, it basically became useless. But that way, I think there was like the DVR fee from our local cable company was like an extra $20 a month, and I'm like, if I just buy this laptop for a one-time fee, I never have to pay a fee for DVR again. So that's how I had a DVR for a while. We didn't have TiVo, and I didn't use the cable company's DVR because I could plug a USB hard drive into my PlayStation, and now into my media server, and now I've got 2 terabytes of storage instead of having to pay the cable company an additional fee. I think it would have been like $100 a month for the same amount of storage in my DVR. And that way I didn't have to worry about if I was recording in HD or SD and how much space was taken. It just recorded. But yeah, before that, I had bought a DVD recorder, which is actually how I first started doing this channel. I used my DVD recorder to record off of retro systems, and I wasn't able to do anything modern that had HDMI because I didn't have that ability, unless it was the PlayStation 4 I can stream from. So it's kind of amazing. When that media server went down after my lightning strike, I stopped using all that stuff. Actually, I'm sorry, when Windows Media Center stopped being supported, I had to stop using all that stuff, and I ended up using what I have now, which is Plex with a tuner. And I no longer have cable TV cable. So I use live antenna TV for that. Mainly because everything else that's on cable now eventually comes to streaming. So, sorry, I kind of went on a rant about other stuff that you could do with your PlayStation 3. But it's kind of, to me, it's kind of amazing. All that stuff still works on the old PlayStation 3. And I forgot why I noticed that. I booted up my PlayStation 3 to play a game, and I think I clicked the wrong direction on the thumbstick, and it went over to videos instead, and I'm like, hey, what's all this other stuff that's appearing there? And it was my tuner that I just plugged into the network. I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. And so it did for a little while. I just started watching TV, and it didn't hiccup, it didn't stutter. Like, the PlayStation can still play all media, probably not 4K. But all HD TV signals were, like, perfect. Like, came through no problem. I was like, that's insane. Because I thought I was going to have to buy a couple of devices in my other, like in my bedroom, like my living room, and my home theater have an Apple TV hooked up to them, but in my bedroom I took all that stuff out of there because I usually don't watch stuff in there except for live TV. And now I just have a PlayStation 3 in there that I use for that if I want to watch TV in there. I think, can the Xbox do that stuff too? The Xbox One, I want to say can, because they tried to make it like a pass-through for your DVR for your TV anyway. So maybe that's the case? I can't remember. Because, by the way, maybe you guys can help answer this question. So I debated today, speaking of media, I was doing some retro game shopping before the stream, and I was at a store. They had an HD DVD player for the Xbox 360. And so I looked it up. I tried to do a quick Google. I'm like, does that work with the PlayStation Slim? Not the PlayStation Slim. With the Xbox 360 Slim. And the answer I got was yes, but you have to download the media player for it to work. And so my answer is, number one, is that true? And number two, can you still download the media player? Because I never downloaded it before because I didn't have an HD DVD player. Because if it's not useful, I don't want to buy it. And I think they were asking exactly market price for it, like exactly what the guide price was. And it did come with a little bundle of movies, but none of them looked good. I already have like a bundle of movies that I've picked up at thrift stores over the years. And it's not that I ever want to watch them, but I do want to do like a comparison. Was Blu-ray better than DVD? Kind of do that for myself. Could make a video about it. But since I couldn't get a clear answer right away, I didn't want to risk spending the money on something that really didn't work. Oh my gosh. Picked up the new Arcadia Supercharger, later rebranded as Star Path for your 2600. 4 seal games for 120 bucks. That doesn't sound terrible at all. Where'd you get that from, Rick? Hey, welcome to the stream, Rex. I think I've gotten the gem on every single level. Usually I don't do that. I agree, the DVD had more fun with the media. Blu-ray seems to be more like, here's your stick and movie. I mean, I will definitely say especially in the beginning, but now that's like all releases. Like, they stopped for physical releases, though I'm surprised they still put a movie in the box. Like, really, they just want to sell you a box and not the media. Because yes, they don't put, those 27, so I must be on 8. They literally just want to sell you the movie, like a box, so you have something physical to put on your shelf. They don't want to give you the movie with it. But when they do, yeah, it's just the movie now. They don't give you all the special features that we've gotten used to. And welcome to the wonkiest physics you'll ever play in any racing game. I don't know why they screwed the physics up so much in this, but I think it's even worse in the Insane Trilogy. Some people say it's better, but since this is the one I'm used to, it seems kind of hard to me. At least on the new one. In this one, I'm so used to it. I don't want to say I'm going to beat this on the first try, but I think I'm going to win on the first try on this one. And it takes me forever on the Insane Trilogy. But I did hear unconfirmed reports of when they first made this engine that runs the racing levels. They used to give it like a plain and straightforward scheme, but they said it made it too easy. So to make it more difficult, they gave it a weird system. They also said it wasn't as realistic because on a motorcycle you gotta like lean and do all that stuff. So it was like a realism thing / making it more difficult thing. Yes, Rex, I agree. Too bad. And that's the funny thing. I never had any like thoughts in my mind that, oh no, when they do a racing game, it's going to be terrible. Like, I never thought that in my head. Because I'm like, oh, they screwed up the racing in Crash 3 so bad. But no. Crash Team Racing is amazing. And they did a great job with the physics engine on that one. Naughty Dog had a knack for pulling off the impossible.
Good day, mates. Dingo Dial's the name, and Uka Uka and Cortex gave me orders to bring the crystals to them during the Ice Ages. So give me the goods and shove off, or I'll roast yous.
So, the fact that they got that game to run on a PlayStation 1 was deemed impossible, much less with 4-player. And the fact that they got it to run, it's just a testament to Naughty Dog's commitment to... And if you listen to... It's not Andy Gavin, that's the other one. I'm going to think of it here. Who is Andy Gavin and Jason. Can't think of his last name. Jason Rubin? I want to say. But it was Andy Gavin that said this. He said it was part of the Naughty Dog philosophy that if it existed in the hardware, you didn't leave any bit of unused memory, you didn't leave any stone unturned, you unlocked the entire potential of the system when you worked on it. So, and you can tell in their games like this, like there's no other game that looked like Crash Bandicoot when it first came out. And I believe they helped design the system for Spyro, or they leased their engine so that Spyro the Dragon could exist, because it was also deemed impossible on the PlayStation 1 to do an open world game like what you could do on the N64. But then they pushed the hardware, and if you listen to that story about the original Crash Bandicoot, they hacked the hardware. Which is funny, they initially thought that maybe Sony would be upset at what they were doing, but then when Sony saw the results, they're like, oh, we want to make you one of our first-party developers, or second-party developers. Yeah, I remember when it was after the fact, after I played this game, is when I saw all the hype and promotional materials for it. So I grabbed this game not knowing almost anything about it. I just saw the front box art cover and I was like, this game looks like it'd be fun. I even thought maybe this is their version of Mario, because one of the things I was upset about, my brother won the argument of he wanted a PlayStation 1, I wanted an N64, and because my brother was the one who was going to have to stay inside all summer because he had surgery, my parents were like, all right, we'll go with the PlayStation 1. And I was actually mad at him. Like, how dare you keep me from playing Mario 64? I really wanted to try that game. And of course, as you all know, this probably turned out to be better. But that means I missed out on all the N64 classics. Like, I remember Banjo-Kazooie from seeing it in a kiosk in, like, Kmart. But I wasn't able to play, like, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer and Rogue Squadron, GoldenEye. I was able to play GoldenEye and Mario Kart because one of my friends had an N64 and we played it at his house, but only the multiplayer games. I never played the single player campaign and all that stuff. So when I got this, I was like, maybe this is like PlayStation's version of Mario. And it turns out I was right. If you're wondering why I don't care about these boxes, it's because there's already no way for me to get all of the gem for this level. You have to... Oh, come on. You have to, I think get one of the other gems before you can get all the boxes in this level. And it requires some backtracking. That's why I said I usually don't grab all the gems that I have by now. I was just kind of doing it just because it was convenient. Yep. Oh, that's nice, Rex. Said your brother and you pooled resources to get a PlayStation, mainly because the games were largely $40 at the time. Yes, and that they were cheap. They were cheaper than the N64. You don't forget that not Mario. Nintendo was charging more for games even back in the day. Hey, Beasters, welcome to the stream. Yeah, you know, N64 nerds buy all the same stuff, but the racing stuff, cheap games like that, are nice to pad out a collection. Absolutely. But that's the other thing, too. Almost all third-party developers fled Nintendo because of the decision to go with cartridges and because of Nintendo's behavior in the past. I mean, the fact that Square, which was exclusive to Nintendo through 2 generations of hardware, they started developing their, Final Fantasy VII for the N64. But when they saw what they wanted to do with it, and there were some other things behind the scenes too, there was some political reasons why they left Nintendo. Apparently, I don't know if it was Nintendo's president, but some executive at Nintendo rubbed Square the wrong way. And it cost them dearly in this generation. But then the other thing was the CD-ROM. They're like, with what they wanted to do with their games, they're like, that's going to horribly limit us. what we want. What's interesting is they almost kind of used the same development tools they were using for the N64 for the PlayStation 1 to pre-render the backgrounds. They used like those SGI workstations that Nintendo was giving to people as dev kits, and they just kind of basically ran off with another console with it. I am kind of oversimplifying and not telling the whole story there, but that's partially because I haven't fully researched it for a video yet. That's just what I've heard in rumor and discourse and all the stuff going around there. You can kind of tell this is one of the few games I can like ace through. It's nice to see a game I'm good at for once, right? And, you know, I was actually kind of nervous when I started this because this is my favorite out of the series. I'm like, oh no, what if I've lost my touch? I haven't played this for a year. So what if I've lost my touch with it? Yeah, N64 carts were expensive due to being carts to begin with. Yep, it's the same. Yeah, it was the same story back in the day, too. Flash storage, or even like ROM chip storage, which is what they had it on, was expensive no matter what. It's a lot more than CDs. CDs were much cheaper for people to produce. I don't remember what the cost difference was, but I'm like, I believe it was under $1 a disc, and it was like $12 per cartridge.
Right.
Again, not well researched. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Them crystals are mine.
But one of the main benefits to staying with cartridge, number one, it did curb piracy like Nintendo wanted it to, but the other thing was no load times. And that was something that PlayStation 1, I'm sure, thought was going to be a big thing. Like, Nintendo always likes to go for like featured stuff too. It also made the console cheaper to produce. They didn't have to have as much RAM, even though they had more RAM than the PlayStation 1. But they can use ROM as RAM, basically. They didn't have to load a lot of stuff into RAM for it to happen. It's kind of weird to think. The N64 did have the best technology of the time. Same thing with the GameCube. It had the best video chip out of that generation. But it was kind of crippled by the lack of storage media. We're close. Yep. Looking back, you wonder why Nintendo was curious. Oh yeah, the number one thing, Beasters. Yeah, Rex is right on that. It was 100% pirating, but pirating was a much bigger issue in Japan than it was in the States. A much bigger issue. But CDs were a huge market in Japan. I mean, like, you've probably heard the stereotype about in Asian countries, DVD piracy is like a huge thing, video CD, all that stuff. But yeah, Nintendo was very much concerned about that. Not that it didn't happen in the US, but it was a much bigger problem in their region.
No worries, but you'll soon be up against much worse.
Finally, we get my double jump. There we go. Alright. Yeah, you had to buy one of those. Yeah, widgets to copy most cart games, yep. And were those the ones that you can copy games to floppy disk still? I know they had those for the Super Nintendo. And it made sense on those because those games would be like most of the original ones especially were under a megabyte. If they were 1 to 4 megabytes, you can just have multiple discs. Yeah, and in the 90s, especially the mid-90s, nobody had the ability to... There was no consumer CD burner in 95 that I'm aware of that was affordable to a 6-year-old. Or accessible to a 6-year-old. It wasn't until like the later 90s when that became a thing. And then, of course, the CD protection that the PlayStation 1 had, I mean, there were tricks around it, but they weren't as easy as, like, the Dreamcast was the big one. The Dreamcast really got hurt by having very easy piracy. That was very rampant in the US as well. I don't play Supercharger games too much, scared the cassettes will load memory and they'll get chewed up, yep. Well, if you want to do a lot of Spectrum fans do and steal the audio data stream, yep, through your phone, standalone media player, absolutely. Don't they sell way less consoles in Japan than here, though? That is up for debate. I don't know if it's way less. The US is a big market for sure, probably the biggest for gaming, but I don't know if they sell way less. Japan would be probably the second biggest market. Oh yeah, and yeah, forgot about VCD, yep. Video CD, that's part of the reason why they stuck around for so long, because a lot of people had video CD players in Japan, and there was so much cheap media because of all the piracy. So, like, that's why, even after DVD, VCD held on for a long time in that region.
Well, haven't we gotten far for a pair of fuzzy marsupials? I am Dr. Nefarious Tropy, master of time and creator of the very time twister machine you see before you. Uka Uka and Dr. Cortex have sent me to end this little charade, so you won't be leaving my area with the crystals. I swear it.
You have the MPEG decoder for Saturn, huh? That's amazing. 101 for 3DO, but those cost a mint, yeah. Well, what's amazing, too, is that was an additional card you had to add on. I know why it was. It's because they had to license it, and they didn't want to pay that fee up front for every single console if people weren't going to use it, so to keep costs down, they didn't include it. But, I mean, really, could you imagine what the PlayStation 2 would have been like had you had to pay for an encoder card to add for it to play DVDs? I mean, that's just... The PlayStation 2 would have had an entirely different life had it not had native out-of-the-box DVD compatibility. DVD movie, anyway. Is there an easy way to stream games on the Saturn yet? Oh, you mean like from a media server share or something? Or... I do know they have those, I mean, it's not an easy way, but they have those kits for, like, SD cards. And, like, replace your disk drive with an SD card. And I haven't gotten one of those yet, but I do plan to, just because I need to keep my collection as mint as possible, because the Saturn collection is one of those ones I didn't expect to jump high up in price the way that it did. But I only have one Saturn, which, yes, I know, like, only one. But usually, especially for this channel, I have to have, like, backup consoles in case one fails. So I have my display one, then I have my workhorse one. But I don't want to modify my only Saturn, so I'm either going to buy one that's already modded. I might get, like, the Japanese model, because I think the Japanese models look a little cooler than the US ones. But that's the only thing that stopped me from modifying mine, because it is a mod. You have to, like, as far as I know, don't you have to solder and everything? I know you have to take out the other disk drive. I just don't want to do that to my own new one. Huh, rip Wreck-It Ralph and burn it to a video CD to play on your Saturn. Plastic, oh, that's amazing. How'd it look? I imagine animation, because it has, especially if it has, like, solid colors, probably wouldn't look too bad on video CD. Don't forget, video CD is not that far away from what DVD technology is. It still uses MPEG, but I think DVDs use MPEG 2, and I think VCD uses MPEG 1. So, I think the only difference is better better bit rates. So you can have like fast action without it getting all pixely. And then of course you couldn't fit a whole... That's one of the reasons why you couldn't fit a whole movie on one video CD. Most of them had to be split up. I think some of the VCDs I've gotten from thrift stores that I guess didn't know they had VCDs, one of them is The Patriot. That movie, The Patriot, I think is on 4 discs. Which yes, in 1999, DVD was sure as heck a thing, but it still came out on video CD. What amazes me is that it's in English, and it's not an import. That was a commercial video CD release in the US in 1999. That's kind of crazy. Nope. Oh, I thought there were boxes there. Okay, Rex says there's some sort of flash action replay that plugs into the... Oh, that can use the... So that's what I've been looking for, Rex. I've been waiting for that to happen, but I don't know if it's going to be... If it's going to load fast or not. So he said there's an action replay cart that plugs into the cartridge port of the Saturn, and it loads games fast. That is what I've been waiting for. And if that requires no hard mod, I'm all for it. Yeah, Beasters is asking about that. Your Saturn's still the one you guys that cut on clearance? See, oh my gosh, that would have been awesome. And that's the funny thing too, so after we got the PS1, I told you guys this story before, but I had a chance to get a Saturn back in the day, but because I didn't have $5, I wanted $50 for a Saturn and like 20 to 30 complete in-box Saturn titles, all the ones you would want. 2 controllers, and I forgot what else it came with. I think it came with one of the memory cards, too. It came with a couple of accessories. The 3D controller, if I remember correctly. And if you think about, first off, $50 just for the console by itself is a steal, especially these days, but every day that I see that console price shoot up even higher, I just think to myself, my parents really taught me a lesson about saving money, didn't they? Yeah, making video CDs today is a pain, yep. You could buy a cheap Japanese one if you got another one. Yeah, that's my goal. Because you can make... My Saturn right now is region-free because I have one of the action replay cards that I keep in there, and it makes the whole system region-free. So, and a lot of games I got for the Saturn are the Japanese imports, even if they're available in the US, because everything was, and I think still is, much cheaper to buy in Japan, or the Japanese version, than the American version. So unless it's an RPG, which I don't like buying in Japanese just because they're a lot harder to do. You guys saw me struggle with the Dungeon Explorer. Oh no. I mean, it's okay to do, but it's not fun for me to have to hold up a phone to the screen every time and translate all the text. But that was another thing too, it's a lot cheaper to get PC Engine games from Japan than it is to get Turbo Duo games here in the US, and plus the selection's a lot different. Yeah, you have 2 old Laserdisc players. Multi-disc and flippy disc stuff, nice. Or LD players, sorry. I haven't found Child's Play 3 sealed on Laserdisc, bought it for $3.99, yep. So if you guys don't know, one of the things I started to collect and then eventually got rid of was I had a Laserdisc player. I wanted the original Star Wars trilogy because I was told that was the best quality way you can get it. I got the original Star Wars trilogy. I had a few other... Sorry. I had a few other movies. I had like Batman, the original, and some other ones. But I stopped collecting them because of this thing called disc rot. Apparently, Laserdiscs are extremely acceptable for this. All discs are susceptible to disc rot, but the issue is Laserdiscs apparently have a huge problem with this, and it's obviously contingent on even what studio or what brand the discs are, how old they are, but apparently a lot of them are rendered unusable now, and for some reason I don't like collecting things unless I feel like they can still be used. So like the HD DVD player. Unless I can use it, I don't want to collect it. I want to collect just a display piece. Speaking of physics, this thing's kind of all screwed up too, because it automatically starts advancing forward, and now I just got screwed. Cheaper manufacturing, yep. Can die the death. Alright, so did I get the crystal? I did. Let's try for the other gem. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but we'll see. Backtracking in these games is never fun. No! How did I... Okay, so I made it almost there. By the way, these are my least favorite levels in the game, are the underwater levels. They're kind of neat, but I don't know, they look kind of, I don't want to say boring. They look a little uninspired. I guess they kind of fit in with the cyberpunk theme, like Bioshock, maybe? Got saw a review of that cart recently. It is indeed what it cracked up to be, so I'll have to research that a bit more. I did not know that was a thing. So if they got that to work, great. I will probably be investing in one of those. Rip my collection to an SD card and just go to town there. Then those games that are like super expensive, what is it? Shining into Darkness, whatever that RPG is, that nobody bought apparently. It's a lot cheaper in Japan than it is in the US, but it's like $800 to buy it in the US. Almost. Gem. I got it all. Panzer Dragoon Saga, thank you. I thought it was one of the Shining into Darkness, but yes, it is Panzer Dragoon Saga. So maybe I can buy the Japanese one and then get like one of those, I call it a ROM hack, but I guess it'd be a disc hack that can translate it for me. That way I can play it on my system. It's a lot easier to do that with an SD card reader than it is with the, that's what I just did. Than it is with an actual disc. I forgot, is there even copy protection on Saturn discs? Like, I know with these older systems like Sega CD.
So, you pesky little rats aren't going to back off, eh? Just you continue to gather crystals and see what I do.
Yes, there is, or yes, there isn't. I guess I asked the question weird. There is copy protection? And the reason why I ask is I've never even tried. Out of all the systems that I thought had the most expensive games, I've never even tried to use like a downloaded image to play a game on a Saturn. There is, okay. I thought there was. I know on the Sega CD there is not. That was one of the things where I thought I was going to have to do, and then I ended up having someone like for like Snatcher and like those multi-$1,000 games that are out for the Sega CD. I was able to get a few of those because some of them I would buy off of eBay. I'd play it, capture footage from it, and then I'd sell it, buy another one that was a similar cost. I didn't end up breaking even. It did cost me some money, but I just kind of took that out to be a rental. So like it was cheaper to rent them than to own them. So there's a few. By the time I got to the TurboGrafx and the Turbo Duo, I had a completely different philosophy. I'm like, I'm just going to skip the really expensive ones and import what I can from the PC Engine. That really helped. If I would have thought to do that, like import Japanese titles for the Sega CD, I probably wouldn't have had to buy some inexpensive American ones, but... that's the other thing too, is that the Saturn is not region free. But thanks to the Action Replay card I have now, it is. And of course that also has the expanded RAM cart. There's like one game I don't think I can play with it. Because it requires... It's a Japan region game. I want to say it's like one of the Street Fighters. Or like the Marvel vs. Capcom game. It requires that RAM expander card. There we go. Sorry, I had to stop that. But it also requires being region free, so I don't think I can use it with it because it requires that extra RAM. And I forgot how big the RAM expander card is. It 4 megabytes? Because I remember the N64 ironically had the most amount of RAM, even though they had ROM, and I think maybe the you know what? I'm not going for complete, so I don't really care about the death route. This is a good waste of a mask. I was wondering why this level is a little bit more difficult than I remember, and I think it's just because I don't have the bazooka power up yet. Which again I thought was great level design for back in the day. Because if you have that bazooka power up, it makes these levels a bit easier. So it kind of encourages you to come back later to these levels. That was replay value back in the day. Because they did that, and then they also did the... This was the first game with the time trials. Beat your time on these levels. And they're like, oh, once you get the best score, can you beat our best time? Gosh, I remember trying to beat their time so badly. I don't remember... I remember you could submit it to Naughty Dog if you beat their time on these levels, but I can't remember if it was just for an accolade or if you actually got something from them for it. And if I'm right, I think the Insane Trilogy kept up with that too. If you can beat the current dev's time or the original Naughty Dog time. Because I'm pretty sure the original Naughty Dog time probably doesn't matter. Because, oh, why can't I think straight tonight? Oh, because they changed some of the design and some of the physics. Probably wouldn't have exactly matched, so the times probably didn't matter. Or the times would never... Some of the times might have even been possible. But I digress. Speaking of replay value, what about on Crash Bandicoot 4? They did a lot of that too. But their levels... My only problem with Crash Bandicoot 4 is that their levels are way too long. I expect them to be a bit longer, but it shouldn't take me 15-20 minutes to beat one level in Crash Bandicoot. And maybe that's just me. And then some of those challenges are incredibly ridiculous. There's Area 51, by the way. First video I ever put on my channel. 8 years ago. I showed that shortcut in the Insane Trilogy. It's the first video I posted that got any views. So that's why it's still in there. I used to have my original playthrough of Crash Bandicoot the Insane Trilogy on here as like a playthrough guide. But when I started doing my Player One Start series, that became kind of a hindrance, I think, because people would find that and assume that's all my channel was no commentary playthroughs, so I took the rest of it down, and since I lost my media... since my media server had a lightning strike... Come on. I don't know if I'm going to get through this in one try. That helped, but then I missed the last path. Shoot. Yep. If I didn't miss that double arrow, I would have made it. And I missed a box? I didn't. This run count for nothing. Oh, you beat Lollipop Chainsaw? Nice, Jerome. Watching the credits. Find it very satisfying. Now you gotta go back to Infamous? Yes, Infamous is a good one. One of my favorites on the system. And it's shocking to me that they've never remastered that. I think Sucker Punch made those. Rick asks, have I ever gotten to beat Neo Cortex, the final boss? Are you talking about just the final level of this game, or are you talking about with all the gems and all the relics? So have I ever 100% of this game, or have I ever beaten the game? That was just bad luck right there. Because I guess the answer to the question is the same, so I'll answer both. Yes, I have beaten Neo Cortex in this game, and I have 100% of this game. And by the way, 100%ing this game is pretty easy up until 3 key areas. There's 3 key things that I'm like, how are you ever supposed to figure this out without a guide? The other one is Rings of Power. That level can go straight to hell. I will never 100% this game again because of the level Rings of Power. For some reason, that game is kryptonite to me every single time. Hang on a second. Forgot how to breathe for a second. But yeah, Rings of Power. Horrific level. There's something about the control scheme. Wow. I wish I could restart this level. But here's the problem. I can't. I can exit the level and get back into it, but I can't restart the level for that. There is a shortcut that I can use to get through this game a little bit easier. Okay, now I'm screwed. No! How unlucky was that? He just twice just happened to get into my path exactly where I needed to be. I think I can still win though. Yeah. There's the first place. Have you never played Crash Bandicoot, Rick? Because if you haven't, you definitely need to give it a try. And I will say, unfortunately, you don't need to play this version anymore, but I still feel, gameplay-wise, this version is superior. I like the Insane Trilogy. It's a great homage to the game. They did an awesome job with it. Toys for Bob was the right group for this. I think they handled it very respectfully. But there's a couple of key gameplay things I think they just quite didn't get right.
Well, you've crashed a few parties before, but I never expected you to make it this far. If you don't turn back,
I will inflict 1,000 years of suffering on you and the entire universe!
Yes, as I said, I'm playing this now because every August since I first got this game, I have replayed through Crash Bandicoot. Every December, I play through Super Mario World. And this one is technically... Ooh. Still didn't get them right. There is a way to hit them right, and I know it's like hard to figure it out the first time. I'm just not remembering how to do it. There we go. I think you got to do the slide and then hit. And you got to be careful too with those frogs, because if you hit them just the wrong way, they will slide right into those nitro box and take you out with you. Yes, these games are awesome. If you like retro, go with PS1. They're still not that expensive. I'm pretty sure you can buy, well, depending on when it's on sale, I'm pretty sure you can still buy the entire trilogy for less than the cost of a brand new game. So in other words, less than $60 for the PlayStation 1. Now, it has been a while since I've looked up the pricing on it. Yeah, my time is off for a couple of these things. But I also think these look impressive for the hardware, too, because there's not a lot of PlayStation 1 games that look like this that are out there. Have to get a PS1, the store near you has them. And the PS1 should still be pretty cheap. But I will tell you, if the price isn't that different, get a PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2, I believe, is almost 100% backwards compatible, and can play PlayStation 2 games. You could go with a PlayStation 3 if you want HDMI, and it does have better upscaling and disk loading features in it, plus a virtual memory card, which is nice. But it can't play PlayStation 2 games. Unless you want to spend a lot of money on getting one of the backwards compatible ones, and even still, I don't consider those to be quite worth it, the original backwards compatible ones anymore, because they're just getting so old, and they still have overheating issues. I can't, in good conscience, recommend them to be... I'm pretty sure my... Yep. Now I'm gonna miss one. You know what? I only have one mask. Let's go ahead and do it. Yeah, like I said, and I'm only saying that if the PlayStation 1 is like $20 and a PlayStation 2 is like $80, then obviously I would just recommend the PlayStation 1 if you don't want to spend the $80. But for that additional investment, but you get the whole PlayStation 2 library, and there are a ton of great PlayStation 2 games as well. Sadly, Crash isn't one of them, although I personally like the Wrath of Cortex. I get it. Not a lot of people do. There we go. That's how you're supposed to do that. And then, come back and get all these. Now can I pull this move off right the first time? Yes. Managed to play Bushido Blade in linked mode. Something special for sure. Armor Core as well. Oh yeah. I will say this. Can you do linked games on like PlayStation 1 linked games with a PlayStation 2 as one of the consoles? I'm not sure that you can. But then yes, you can also, if you have more than one PlayStation 2, you can still LAN play some games that support LAN play. Granted, there's not as many of those on the PlayStation 1 as there are on the Xbox, like OG Xbox. But I also feel like the OG Xbox has to start having more maintenance problems since they have those 20 gig hard drives on them, and for some reason they went with a proprietary format. So basically it takes some setup to replace the hard drive of your OG Xbox, and the PlayStation 2 does not require a hard drive. So there's already like a lot of things you don't have to worry about doing on that. Oh, come on! That was so close. Looks like I missed some boxes too, but they're probably nitro boxes. No, proprietary cable, yep, that's what I thought. I have a PlayStation Link cable, but I don't even think... Do all PlayStations support the Link cable? Like, PlayStation had a lot of different revisions as well. Like, the early ones had those serial ports that got taken out in the later revisions, so... Here we go. This is the one that's gonna cost me. There we go. Gotcha. Rick asks, have I had good luck reliability-wise with the PS1? And yeah, my childhood PS1 still works great. I have heard, like, especially with the early PlayStation 2 fat models, I have heard people had issues with their lasers, but mine's been fine. It still works. I had it powered on a couple months ago. Still read just fine. But I will say, it has not been my primary means of playing PlayStation 1 games in quite a long time. Ever since I had my PlayStation 2, I hardly ever go back to the PS1. Yes, my childhood PS1 still works. I've grabbed a couple from like thrift stores and garage sales. I did have a PS1, the Slim rendition of the PS1. But I since sold that off. I felt like I didn't need it, and now I feel bad because now I need it for a video, so eventually. Yeah, the 120 gig hard drive in your PS2 works well, but I have no interest in the games anymore. Oh, that's a... I mean, I kind of get that. I have a couple of old IDE drives, and I have free McBoot, so I can load games to the hard drive and then never have to worry about it, so my most common PlayStation 2 games are always loaded up in my PlayStation 2. Yeah, only the first few iterations had the Link port. That's what I thought. Because I remember not all of them have, like, the serial port in the back either. Because PlayStation never really officially used it, but GameShark did.
Ah, you little vermin are way too stupid to understand what you're getting yourselves into. This time you've done it.
So you had the PSX had a dead laser diode, tried to replace it, but the replacement didn't seem to read anything. So Rex, what I recommend for that one is, it's the same thing as the Saturn. If the disk drive's done, but the console still boots up and powers on to BIOS, then you should be able to just get the SD card mod for it and be good to go. I wish I had a mask, because I'm going to make one little silly mistake during this battle, and it's going to cost me. This is also, I have a hard time timing this in the Insane Trilogy. Let me pause for a second. I'll replace the laser in your Gold Star 3DO. Works like a champ. Yep. You bought two different for the PlayStation and lost them both. Oh, that's sad. Hey, appreciate the sub. Thank you. Oh, see, that's why I said I'm going to make one little silly mistake. Oh. Luckily, this pattern almost never, I don't think, ever changes. Like, he always does the same laser shocks and everything else through here. Oh, and by the way, did you notice? The entire environment swapped out. Mid-level, just like they said you couldn't do with anything but a PlayStation 5 on Ratchet & Clank. They did it here on the PlayStation 1. Oh look, they did it again. Oops, I did it again. I played with your heart, got lost in the game. Oh baby, baby, oops, you think I'm in love. Something said from up above, I'm not that innocent.
My time
First try.
is up,
Oh wait, that was the song.
but yours soon will be too.
It was the Britney Spears singing, that's what helped me out.
insolent, insignificant morons! By defeating Entropy, you have placed us all in grave risk!
Crash, Coco, you must realize that this time twister machine is very delicate. Without Dr. Entropy's constant care and control, who knows what it will do?
Oh yeah, Rick, I hear you with that. It's not just there; it's everywhere. But yes, so about 10 years ago, they just had standard pricing on most games, except for the few that were valuable. But yes, now they're individually pricing all that stuff. So I will say, I was just at two retro game stores that are near me. I'm surprised at how many I have like access to locally, brick and mortar stores. But yes, they've all done that with PlayStation 1 games. PlayStation 1 has gone up in pricing value because, like I said, it used to be all the Crash Bandicoots, which, by the way, all the Crash Bandicoots are best-selling games for the PlayStation 1, so it's not like they're rare. They all sold over 1 million copies. But they used to be around $10, $15. Now, I think Crash Bandicoot 1 is the most expensive, but it's still, they all want over $20 for each one of them. And I think that's since the Insane Trilogy came out. But I thought the Insane Trilogy would make them much, much cheaper. But that ended up not being the case. Yes, you guys notice the Naughty Dog hieroglyphics? Yeah, that's why, and that's a lot of people assume that, man, how much money did you spend on that collection? A lot of people are like, there's no way you spent an average of like less than $5 per game in your collection. But when I collect things, I make a point to like collect things that nobody has any interest in, because my goal is just to play like a bunch of games. I'm not collecting for value, I'm not collecting for resale, I'm not collecting because I want to have like this huge collection. I want to play the games. So when I get in on collecting something, it's because nobody else wants to collect for the system. So like I have a bunch of PSP games because that system for some reason is still not being collected for. Like the pricing on that one hasn't really skyrocketed as much. PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, some OG Xbox. But like N64 and GameCube, good night. I saw Mario 64 loose, just the cartridge. They want $45 for it, and I really thought to myself, is the #1 selling game, I'm pretty sure that's the #1 selling game still, on the original, on the N64. Why is that game almost $50 now, loose? Same thing with like Mario Sunshine on GameCube. That game was for a little while, I don't know if it still is, was close to $100. But like I said, when I bought them, they were on clearance from GameStop. Well, that's because I wasn't talking to you. Please be quiet, Echo. Yes, so like most Nintendo consoles have. NES, Super Nintendo, you can still get some cheap games for some of these, by the way. It's just the games you want are probably going to be priced out of it. I don't know why Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door is over $100, but it is. I know the Pokemon games have all skyrocketed in price, but that's just the Pokemon market. Yeah, handhelds went ridiculous for not being worth collecting. But when I collected a bunch of like Game Boy games, when I collected them, they were because nobody wanted them. I always went for what was cheap. So I don't really very often spend a lot of money collecting games because #1, I don't have it. So I can't afford to be spending multiple $100s per these games. I was gonna say, I think the most expensive game that I bought was actually not too long ago. At the Midwest Game Fest. It's one I've wanted for a while, and I thought, okay, I'm on vacation, let's just splurge this once. I got, what? How did that hit me? I got Fire Emblem Path of Radiance for the GameCube. I haven't played it on stream yet, so not the Wii Fire Emblem game. This is the GameCube one. And I didn't pay what they wanted for it. They wanted like $300 for it. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to do that. But I was able to bundle a deal where it made it more affordable. I think I paid $175 for it. Complete in box, with the manual. It wasn't a bad deal, but I think that is the most I've ever spent on a single game now. Is $175. And that was just this year. So before that, there was nothing doing with that. And that's all I bought. I bought that and whatever games I bundled with it. Ikaruga, which is a scrolling shooter that I wanted to get for the GameCube for a while. Can't remember what else I got with it. And yes, do you guys want to see the trick? Yes, if you jump on them, they give you Wampa Fruit. Up until a certain point. After a while, it's like, alright, this is animal abuse, so then they stop giving up, and this guy won't give me any. Oh, nope, he does. I thought he wouldn't give me any fruit. Just giving you a hint, the second game has something to do with that too. But I won't tell you where or what. Oh my gosh, now people want over $100. Oh yeah, for a Game Boy Advance console in any condition? Yeah, that's insane. When I bought a Game Boy Advance SP with the front light on it, so it has a built-in light so you can see the screen, and it's that flippable one. I bought that at a garage sale for $15. I was shocked when I saw what retro game stores want for it now. The only reason why I bought it is because I'm like, I had a Game Boy Advance. I got it at a garage sale years ago. The reason why I gave it up is because I'm like, my eyes were starting to get too old for me to see the screen, and I'm like, I'm never going to play this. And I got a Game Boy player for the GameCube. So it's like, well, I don't need a Game Boy Advance now. I'll just play it on the Game Boy player. But then, of course, when I wanted to play it mobily, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just play my... Sorry, you guys might get annoyed with this, but... Remember, Darth Vader's really got you annoyed, but remember, if you kill him, then you'll be unemployed alright. Yo, 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 Yoda. Yo, 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 Yoda. This is actually a great use of the force feedback, by the way, because I was unaware they were shooting at me and actually hitting me until the controller vibrated, so good on this game. So like there, it didn't even look like they should be hitting me. Now me gets the feeling that I missed a bit. I did. It's all the way over there too. This is going to be a long trip. There it is. So yeah, and I remember too, like, I don't know, there was like this huge thing. I also got my Nintendo DS at a garage sale for $20. And when I saw that can play, I got a DS Lite, and when I saw that can play Game Boy Advance games, I almost sold my Game Boy Advance SP until I remembered it can play, that the SP can play all Game Boy games, including Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance, and regular Game Boy, and it had a backlight. So I'm like, okay, let's just go with that. Yeah, you only want the original OG Game Boy Advances? Yeah. I mean, they're neat, and I thought about, like, recollecting one in the future, but ever since I've been collecting again, I really thought to myself, I don't want to pay that much for a Game Boy Advance. It's something that's just going to be a display piece, and I'm probably never going to actually use. So... I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah, this is not usually when I can get all the boxes in one sheet. I'm just not going to worry about that. Still get boxes if I see them, but usually I'm going to miss one, and it's going to make me upset. There's a bunch of levels in this game that have kind of wonky physics. People were complaining that there's too many vehicle levels in this game where you're not really controlling the character, but the character is controlling a vehicle. And it is kind of insane. In this game, there is a bunch. But I don't have a problem with the vehicles, I just have a problem with the physics. It's like the choppiness of the water. I don't think it ages very long. Might as well grab the box. I remember too that the water in this game was like a huge selling point for it as well. Like, look, you've never seen more realistic water in a video game until this point. But I do have a fairly decent Game Boy Advance collection. Part of the problem is too, a lot of the games that you buy for Game Boy Advance that would be like super expensive are not native to the Game Boy Advance. There's a lot of games on the Game Boy Advance that are just mobile versions of Super Nintendo games. And back in the day, when that was the only way to play those mobily, that'd be a different story. But like, you can get all these on the Switch now with Nintendo Switch Online, and that can be portable. So. My goal is just not to miss the crystals. Sometimes I do that on here. The PSP, though, is kind of a joy. That's another console, too, that should have had a dock, because you can hook that up to a TV and play those games on a TV. Now, granted, they do not look the best on a TV. I'm gonna let you know that right now. In fact, back in the day, I have streamed from my PSP before on stream. And it looks better on that because I zoom in on the image to make it fill the screen. I will say that's part of the problem, is that it only displays at the PSP's native resolution. There's no upscaling at all to it when it plugs it into a TV. And on a CRT, it's almost like microvision, like looking at a postage stamp. I will say it's been a while since I've done that, because, I mean, why would you if you don't have to? But upscaled using my RetroTink 5X, and using component cables and zooming in on the image, it looks a lot better. And it still looks kind of chunky. It's PSP graphics, but it is basically like a portable PlayStation 1 with maybe a little bit, maybe some sharper visuals in some spots than a PlayStation 1 can do. They become valuable because of IPS kits. Interesting. Have you guys seen the consoleized Game Boy Advances? Where they turn it into a console? They take out the motherboard and then kind of make it so you can use a Super Nintendo controller on it. Future Frenzy, our first Future level. Glad you got all the games and the systems you wanted years ago before the prices shot up. Yep.
So, Crash Bandicoot, we meet again. Uka Uka and Dr. Cortex want me to teach you a lesson. Well, I've made a few modifications to my mechanics since our last encounter. So back off or be deleted.
Gave your PSP to a friend. Hopefully you get it back someday. It's easier for you to list the systems you don't have. I've been saying that to people for a while too, which is kind of funny. There are some systems I do want to get, but I'm kind of getting to that point. I do not have the bazooka yet, and it's so much easier to do this with the bazooka. Plus, if I'm right, I think there's a spot of this level that you can't get to until you unlock the bonus area, so. This level is a bit ridiculous to 100% this level, but it's not as bad as Rings of Power. As stupid as it is, that they make you do some of the stuff in this level backwards, Rings of Power is still worse. I don't think I'm going to go through and start unlocking... Well, I guess I can. If we have enough time at the end of the stream, I can go back and get some relics. Show you what the bonus room looks like. But I do not plan on... I'm definitely not 100%ing this game tonight. I don't think I ever will again. I can't remember if I've even 100% of the game on the Insane Trilogy. Back when you were young, the PSP, yep, had the browser. Had the movies you could watch on it. You can download them to the Memory Stick Pro Duo. Which is funny. My friend, who wasn't a gamer, had a PSP. And I don't think he used it that much. But he used it more for watching videos on the go than he did for gaming. I remember too, he was like, he would never buy any of the movies on disc. He always wanted to download them. And I remember too, right before we got our PlayStation 3s. Oh, maybe not PlayStation 3s. We were Black Friday shopping outside of Best Buy back in the 2000s. We camped outside and we watched like 3 or 4 movies off his PSP while we were waiting in line. It's one of those nice experiences the kids today just want to understand. Like, why didn't you just use your cell phone? Did love the PSP. I remember I always wanted one, and I don't know why, I just never... Maybe it was just the cost, and I like console gaming more than handheld gaming. Like, I remember saying the handheld gaming for an adult didn't make sense because when I played handheld gaming was mostly... in the car. And when you're driving a car, you really can't play a handheld gaming console. And so ever since I got my driver's license, I've been driving instead of riding in a car. So it never made much sense to me to get one for me. Like, even still, like today, I play my Switch mostly in docked mode. And I realized, way too late by the way, that is not how these kids are playing their Switches. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Oh no, it wasn't at all. I don't know, did Nintendo release that statistic? I remember seeing somewhere that the majority of Switch users play theirs not in docked mode. I think partially that's because, well, kids get it and they can play it because they don't have access to the family TV. So they can just play their Switch handheld and be fine. Play it at the dinner table, play it at a restaurant, do whatever. But as an adult, I do most of my gaming on a regular TV, and I have full control over it, so I don't have to play it mobily. Oh, that happened way too early. Yeah. So you didn't really care much for the GBA, honestly? When you got your DS that could play it? Yep. Like the Metroids and Castlevania. Well, now, didn't they just release the Castlevania Advance Collection recently? So, like, too, with all these re-releases of stuff and remasters, like, do you really need to go back and play the originals? Who is that important to now? Like, honestly, that's... It kind of makes me wonder, like, why kids get into retro gaming. And it's gotta be, like... I will say for the ones that I've seen, part of it is, if they have an older sibling, that's what they played, that's what retro gaming is for them. Or if their dad had one, and was like, this is a console that me and my dad would play together, and so it's the Sega Genesis. For my niece and nephew, one of them is like, I gave my nephew my childhood Sega Genesis to play. And so that's nostalgic to him because, you know, that was one of his uncle's favorite systems. And so, but he has a personal relationship with that. But now, most kids are like, you you know, why wouldn't they just play it? Is it because they played it on the Switch Virtual Console, or, you know, something like that? Like, why do they want the original hardware? That's also coming, too, from a generation that just... Oh! Okay. I did that out of order from how I usually do it. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now here's the tricky part. I don't always pull this off well. Because that TNT box that I forgot to set off ahead of time. We'll do that again. Oh yeah, when you bought your Vita, it was complete in box, had a memory card. I bought the Vita on a Black Friday special, so I had a Vita back when it was relevant. But I will note there was only like a 6-month period where it was relevant to begin with. So what killed the Vita, in my opinion, was making the cellular connection exclusive to one wireless carrier. Because, and this is another thing too, it didn't used to matter back in the day. Oh, I can't set it off beforehand. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this. So here's what I usually do. I usually do these boxes like this, backwards. Five. Yes, it always gives me anxiety, so I always have to count that out. But back in the day, it used to matter what cell phone carrier you had. Oh, why does he drop so darn fast? This is the thing. This always messed me up back in the day too. I'm gonna get it. Don't worry. But yeah, back in the day, it used to matter which wireless carrier you had because not everyone had better coverage. And it's kind of hilarious now for me to see cell companies be like, oh, we have more coverage than all these other companies. I'm like, yeah, but pretty much everybody has coverage almost everywhere now. If you don't have coverage in an area, it's probably not because... 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's probably not because of one carrier not carrying cell phone signal in your area. It's probably because all of them don't. Oh, Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. There we go. And I don't know why it worked that time. I did the same exact thing, but this time he kept his hover. Chippendale Rescue Rangers is a great co-op game I would recommend for parents who want to play NES games with their kids. Kind of like Goof Troop on the Super Nintendo, but I just saw Goof Troop is super expensive now for some reason. Like, it was like $40 at the retro game store I saw it at. Not today, it was one another time. Sold a bunch of your NES games off. I've said it many times before, I am shocked how much, like, we didn't have a lot of NES games to begin with. I think we had like 6 or 7. But all of them survived. Every yard sale, every clean outs of all of our old technology. Somehow the NES collection survived. Buster's Quest. That's a game I didn't know existed back in the day, but I was very young still when the NES was relevant. Well, hey, you know, that's a little risky. And we have the death route, why not? First game you played? I will say the soundtrack to the game's pretty good. I think Sunsoft overall did a decent job. With their games. Like Blaster Master, that's the one we had. And when I played Fester's Quest for the first time, that's the first thing I noticed. I was like, hey, This game has all the same sound effects and basically same sound table as Blaster Master. One of my all-time favorite games. Oh, come on, I was clear of that. Did I lose a life? I did. I have 81 lives though, so I think we're good. We started with 5 lives, by the way. What were some of your other iconic, like, original to your childhood games that you played on the Super Nintendo? Sorry, on the original Nintendo. Mine was Blaster Master, Punch-Out, and no, not Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I only knew Punch-Out as the one with Mr. Dream. There we go. And it wasn't until I started collecting one I'm like, hey, I should probably get that one with Mike Tyson just because. I remember not being very good at Blaster Master. Oh, there you go. Love Blaster Master so much. They had an extensive ROM hack of it. That's kind of nice. I liked Blaster Master, but I was never any good at it. I never beat it as a kid. I was only ever able to beat it using... Using, Oh! I was so close. There's the exit right there, by the way. I was only able to beat Blaster Master using, save states on an emulator years later. I still don't think I beat it all the way through. Because you're supposed to play that game all the way through. There's no save point. But Blaster Master, awesome soundtrack. I mean, they suck you in with that, too. Dun, 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 dun. I think I played that on stream a little bit, too. And I think I got to Area 4 on stream, but that was like in 3 hours. And there are ways that you can brick your playthrough by either not getting the right weapon at a right time or running out of ammo for something. Like, there's so many ways you can suck at that game. Even though you do it right. Let's see if I can get this one right. But definitely like one of the first games where I'm like, hey, this game has a pretty decent soundtrack. Now that song's gonna be stuck in my head. Oh yeah, Blaster Master 2, man was that game disappointing. There we go. Oh, I have to beat this again. Because I didn't get the crystal before I got the blue gem. Good thing I'm not speedrunning it. Yeah, I was very disappointed in Blaster Master 2, and that was actually a cheap one I got for the Genesis, right? That came out for the Genesis. Have you guys played, I think it's Blaster Master Zero is what it's called? It's basically a remake of the first game. I thought that was pretty awesome. I only bought the first part of it. I think they had a Blaster Master Zero Part 2 after that. But I only played the first one. I thought that was very well done. For what it was. But I think I had that on the Switch. Oh, that means I gotta do all this stuff again. Dang it. After all that time I spent getting this right last time. I have another chance to fail at it. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. It's amazing how many times I play this game and it still makes me anxious. This was the game where I admitted to my brother that I was wrong about the PlayStation. I mean, he liked the game too, but I think he liked racing games more, so I think he liked that it had a motorcycle racing thing, and that they at least tried to get the physics more realistic. Because he was starting to get into racing sims around that time. Because he liked Need for Speed, we had both played that on PC. But the newer ones, like, at the time, Need for Speed 3, Hot Pursuit, and Need for Speed High Stakes wouldn't run on our Windows 95 PC. The 133 megahertz Pentium processor. And we didn't have a 3D graphics card, and I think those games required them. So when we got a PlayStation, we were like, oh, we can finally start playing the Need for Speed games that we don't have a graphics card for on PC. I was trying to think of what other PlayStation 1 games I thought were my go-to for my original collection. I mean, I did like A Bug's Life back in the day. It's hard to go back and play it now, though. I think it's just because I like the movie. There's so many kids' license titles that turned out to be junk and garbage. I also like, too, that I had clips from the actual movie. That was back when that would impress people in games. Come on, I was spinning. You gotta be careful with this guy. You don't want to spin, you don't want to slide him right into the nitro boxes. That was close. We'll give it a little bit. I mean, Spyro was another one. It took me a long time to get Spyro 1, because we were a late adopter to the PlayStation, so I ended up getting Spyro 2 first. And then I played Spyro 1, and then I don't think I played Year of the Dragon until much, much later. I think I played the ones for the PlayStation 2 before I played Year of the Dragon. Gran Turismo was another one. Really like Gran Turismo 1. Gran Turismo 2 was okay, but I did find it to be a bit, like, harder. And then I didn't play Final Fantasy VII until the PlayStation 2 came out. One of my friends in high school was like, you haven't played Final Fantasy VII? It seems right up your alley, you'd really like it. I'm like, yeah. I don't really care for those RPG games, is what I would tell him. And then little did I know that would become one of my favorite series of all time. Next to that guy, another guy with the first name Tyler. We had 4 people with my name in my grade. Tyler used to be a much more common name. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. That was another one. Another all-time favorite. We had Tony Hawk's 1. I don't remember if we got 2, or if we just rented it. You play the Japanese Final Fantasy VII demo that came with Tobal #1, really?
So, you want to go a few rounds? When this is over, we'll see who's obsolete.
Oh, how could I forget? Ape Escape. I still need to do a playthrough of that on stream. Ape Escape was another one. Okay, hang on. I forgot that it's... That it's up is down and down is up, so that's what threw me off right at the beginning. I feel like something's broken here. I don't remember there being this many missiles. Ape Escape was a treasure. I remember too, like, I never even thought this back in the day. Now, a lot of people are like, man, I can't stand Ape Escape's controls. Like, they didn't know how to use the dual analog controller right. But I remember Ape Escape was designed to be a demo for what the DualShock could do. So it's interesting. It doesn't follow a modern control scheme. Man, I am just failing. Now I can take these off. Now I say that, I'm probably gonna get killed.
Not again!
There we go. Yeah, I really wish they would, like, redo Ape Escape 1 again.
It's funny how history repeats itself. Yet again, Engine has failed to defeat you.
For this we must destroy you!
Oh, my aching head. I'm not feeling myself these days. So the end is in sight. Gather another 5 crystals, and again you will have foiled my plan. Or will you?
There we go. On to the last set of 5. I will say they were very proud of their motorcycle levels too in this one, because that one I think is the most annoying, and that's the one they put the most of in here. Out of all the vehicle levels. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Pirates level either, but those motorcycle ones, every time I'm like, ugh. Every time I get to one of those, how come? I do like these futuristic levels though, even though they are challenging. What else is written in my collection? WWF Warzone. Have you guys played that game on PS1? Yes, I got the bazooka. Although I wish you can uninvert the controls if you wanted to, but... oh well. Look at that design. How does that not appeal to kids in the 90s? And then the more challenging one. Oh, he's too far away. I can't shoot him from here. So they immediately start you out with all the different power-ups. Like you have to learn his new moves right away each time. And yeah, that box right there is the biggest pain because I think you have to backtrack to get that box later. I know there's one of these levels yet. I think you have to play through both of these levels backwards at some point. It's been a while. But again, Rings of Power, worst level in the entire Insane trilogy. Even more than, was it Slippery Climb or Castle, whatever that is. The deleted levels they took out of the original Crash Bandicoot, but they put it in the Insane trilogy. I don't think that level's as bad as Rings of Power. I know, I'm kind of a minority in that opinion. Once you play it, you're probably going to get through it in one time and be like, why do you think this is bad? You're like, well, because I have problems with it. Get down here before I hit that. Yeah, I remember WWF Warzone was another one. Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. That's another PS1 title that's pretty good. And I played this on stream one time and people were... I was surprised that people were as into it as I thought they would be. The Game of Life on PlayStation 1 is apparently also a good game. I always enjoyed it. But I never understood, like I didn't think anyone else was going to find it as impressive as I did. I think that's pretty well it. I was trying to think of all the games that I owned on PS1 back in the day. I didn't think it would be possible, but I'm starting to forget which games are original in my collection, like more of the obscure ones, the ones I wouldn't have played as often. Because there were some games that aren't that great. Obviously, I don't forget my first game. Oh, how can I forget? We talked about it, but I never really said if it was one of the ones I owned. I did own Crash Team Racing back in the day, and Crash Bash. Because those are my answer to Mario Kart and not Super Smash Bros. Mario Party. They didn't really have a Super Smash Bros. On here. There we go. Rallycross, Armored Core, Final Fantasy VII, Warhawk. Oh, Final Fantasy 8 and 9. How could I forget those two? But again, I didn't play those when they were relevant. Play those way after the fact. Do you guys think we're going to get a remastered Final Fantasy 9 anytime soon? Here it is. Orange Asphalt, the most annoying of them all. Zero Divide, that's a good one. I haven't heard that one mentioned in a while. That would have been a great one to have as a kid, but I never did. The Raiden Project's also pretty good. That was like frame perfect. So that's what I thought would happen. And I missed the turbo. Think that should be alright? Just like in real life, they have construction barricades when there's even no construction around. I think I made a joke a while back, and I think other people kind of confirmed that it was true as well. That Illinois is where they store all of those construction barrels when not in use. This is the longest course too, so I just need to make sure that I keep my wits about me. It's pretty much just the level where you make one mistake and you gotta start it all over again, and since it is the longest... Nope. Ooh, so close. Oh, I missed it. I might not be able to make it now. Because this one, yeah, that one's not a good one to hit. I don't ever remember hitting that one. Let's see. I think I just won. And then yes, imagine coming back through here and trying to get the gem. You bought the Final Fantasy VII Remake for PS4? And you want to put it through your shredder? Oh my gosh. I will say this. It is not like... It does not replace the original Final Fantasy VII for sure. So I've been telling like kids who want to buy and collect games, I'm like, Final Fantasy VII is still, like, you have to buy it for the original one too. Because it is a different game. It follows the same story, but gameplay-wise, yeah, it's completely different. But I will say this, I actually loved Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't think I liked it better than the original, but I also like that it was voice acted. You get to see like the Advent Children designs and all that stuff, so like seeing it acted out was like thing. And I put up with the gameplay partially because of that. But the gameplay wasn't terrible. It matches more of what modern Final Fantasy has become. So if you're not a fan of that, it's not really the best. But do they have turn-based active time battle for it? Like, I thought there was a way you can change it to be more of a classic gameplay style. I didn't in my playthrough, so... Beats you never played it? Okay. So, because I'm kind of curious if that fixes some of the issue that older players would have with it. And because I've never played it like that, I guess I'll have to try it sometime and do it. Just to see what it's like. But I will say this, Rebirth was actually pretty good as well. It does follow that same gameplay style. I'm pretty sure it has the old one too. But I do like Rebirth. I thought that one was better than Remake, but... all the way up until the ending. I don't want to spoil it, but... because they do get a lot story-wise right, I felt like they messed up story-wise on this one. If you know the 3 story act structure of the original game, you kind of can tell where the end of this game is going to be, because they said they're going to divide it into 3 parts. And I don't know. I've been told my interpretation of the endings. The weird thing is that yes, there is. You have to interpret the game's ending a little bit. Want to shred it because I'm not buying a PS5 to play the whole story on top of that. Oh right, yeah. And what'd you say? Not being able to play through with one save file. Oh, I don't know what that's referencing. You can't play through it with one save file? Are you talking about in terms of like because it's going to be 3 different games? You know what? We're running a bit short on time, so to be able to finish this, I'm going to have to skip the death routes here. When I say running short on time is that I have to be up early for work tomorrow, so as excited as I am to beat this on stream, I did start a little late today as well, so I'm going to have to somewhat speed up. Basically just not doing all the optional stuff. So yep, sorry, no question mark block here. I don't know, when 7 Remake came out though, it was in April of 2020. So, we were on lockdown, told not to leave our homes kind of thing, and I'm like, oh. A Final Fantasy VII game? Why not? So I beat it in like a week, because I played it almost 8 hours a day for 5 days on my PS4. And then, when it came out for PlayStation 5, it was February 29th. They definitely marketed that one well for when they wanted to release it. Yeah, the game is in installments. You don't resume from your save at the end of each. Correct. Because they assume you beat the previous game before you get to that one. Although, they do have a video clip to catch you up on the story before this one.
He is a far more dangerous enemy than anyone can imagine.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to defend it. I completely understand. Those are definitely valid points. Look at Crash's teeth. Psychotic. Where are the pins? Do I get to yell from, like Harrison Ford each time? Get off my plane! Oh yeah, you have to take out both the engines for it to crash. Man, I'm already at 64% health at the very beginning, and it's all because I'm trying to speed through this, so. I'm already not doing as well as I usually do. I guess, and this AI definitely cheats. Because these people spawn right in front of you. Am I right above a plane? I am. See where these last 2 balloons are, so I'm just going to grab them if I can. So I just killed those 2 guys. That gives me like 4 seconds of peace. There we go. Ha! Oh, I like that one too. That would have been for the blimps. In that last level. Okay. No ticket. Which, didn't they say he improv that line? Like he wasn't supposed to say anything after he threw him out? I think I had heard that somewhere. Alright, I'm gonna save before this next one, because again, I keep forgetting to save in this game. I keep forgetting I'm playing on original hardware. Because there's been times where I've seen the game just crash. Get it? And, I really don't want to have to go back and replay those levels to beat the game on stream. I think we had that happen once here on Crash 2, and I hadn't saved in a long time. Don't know why, but it's more gratifying to buy Dreamcast games than PS1 games. Probably, if I had to guess why, my opinion would be because the graphics hold up better on the Dreamcast. They just do. PlayStation 1 graphics did not age well. They look good on CRTs, but I mean, the texture warping, the breaks in the polygons and things like that we find kind of charming from these graphics. Oh, come on, I pulled it to spin. By the way, this level gets ridiculous too at the end. Although I don't find it as hard as some of the other levels that have this gimmick. This level hits a gimmick that I think should be banned in video games. And that is, they block part of the screen because the lights are going to go out. And every Crash Bandicoot game that I'm aware of from Naughty Dog has that gimmick. And I think that should die. I don't think that should be, so yeah. So you kind of have to have your path memorized through here. I don't know why he didn't jump. But now I don't get a guy. For it. Oh, I already got the blue gem, so I can take that path already. Here we go. This part evens it out a bit, because they give you 3 Aku Aku masks to get through this area. And it's even better when you can sprint. And somewhere up here are doors. Because I usually end up getting squashed right about here. I'm not going for the question mark block in this one yet. Just beta moving to the corner here. And yes, you are getting the benefit of me playing this game several times before, because I know it almost exactly where all the pitfalls are. Just one of those games where you had to, like, memorize your way through. But yeah, whenever there was a game released on PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast that didn't make it to, like, the PlayStation 2 or any other consoles, that was always, the PlayStation version was always a disappointment. Like Hydro Thunder, amazing they got it to work on the PlayStation 1, but looks so much better on Dreamcast. I was kind of plagued with some performance issues on the N64. I don't know if that was just my N64 or my copy of the game, but it seemed like the game just ran slower on it. Maybe it's because I didn't have the memory expansion when I played it, I don't know. I know some of those games require it for like multiplayer or better textures or whatever. I remember there was a Star Wars game that released on both.
I'm sorry. This is the part where I'm supposed to be angry. full of rage, incensed beyond belief. Once again, you have outsmarted and outspun my best henchman. I should be rather upset, shouldn't I?
And in fact, we're furious! But it seems you have overlooked one small detail, you little orange delivery boy. Now that you have gathered all the crystals, all we have to do is take them from you!
That is pretty diabolical.
Crash Bandicoot, for the last time, give the crystals to me.
And even though I had 2 Aku Aku masks, he's now fighting the main bad guy, so I can't use him to take a hit. And yes, if I intersect that beam, it will kill me. This level has some wonky physics too, with hitting Cortex into there. There's been times where I don't actually get him in the hole. I guess this thing can still hurt me if I get near him. Learned that a long time ago. First try. And now we get to see the incomplete ending.
Defeated again! This is not fair! Maybe I should retire to a nice big beach with a nice big drink and a woman with nice big bags of ice for my head.
It's not over, Bandicoot. There are still the gems. We still have a chance to triumph.
And there we are. Crash Bandicoot Warped. Created and developed by Naughty Dog. Whew. I got through this without taking one bathroom break. Can you imagine that? Even though I finished one soda and I'm ready to finish another. Things are looking up here. You know that I was dehydrated. That could be possible. So, what'd you guys think of Crash Bandicoot Warped? Got it in 2 hours and 41 minutes, it looked like. I don't know why. I don't think I needed to capture this game, but I know the last time I played it was a long time ago, so maybe I had to capture it again, so I was capturing this the whole time. But this is one of the few games where I'm like, this game made it worth it to buy a PlayStation back in the day, or this game series. Spyro the Dragon was another one. Kind of seen as the de facto mascot, even though Sony didn't want a mascot. But then, I don't think they show the relic times yet at the end of this. But I can try to get like 5 relics real quick and show you the thing on that. Nope. We're already too late. I don't even think we have time for Wheel of Fortune tonight. I think it's because I started too late. So, usually, and this is going to sound weird, I'm in bed by 9:30 because I have to get up early. I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, so it gives me about 7.5 hours for sleep. Not that I usually get that much, but... And once again, I didn't do laundry this week. I actually ended up doing laundry midweek because who reminded me of my laundry last time? Since I didn't do it on stream. So instead of forgetting about it, I consciously made the decision not to do my laundry. So I ended up doing it midweek. And now I'm off on the schedule, so I might have to wait a whole nother week before I can do laundry again. There were a couple backup games I had, a couple things I just grabbed from the Retro Game Store. My students and I were talking about this game, the Simpsons game, which I started on stream, but I haven't played in a while. Thought about coming back and playing this again. This game have water damage at some point? Anyhow. And then a couple of games I got, one for the GameCube and one for the Wii. I could have played if this didn't turn out well, but it seemed like we had a good turnout. Oh yes, cannot forget to save before we head out. I don't think we talked much about the Nintendo Partner Direct, but one of the games I'm very excited is coming out is a new Katamari game. I do love some Katamari. Played that on stream a while back. Although I played the Katamari Damacy reroll, and I beat it on stream. So when you get enough relics, which is the time trial mode on here, this middle spot becomes a platform that you jump on and it takes you to a secret area where there are 5 additional levels. You have to get a relic in each of the 5 levels in each area to unlock a level in the bonus room. And Rings of Power is the last one you unlock, and oh my gosh, is that one terrible. And then you have to get the relic for it too, to get the true 100% ending. Well, folks, I think that's all I got for tonight. So we had Katamari. We also have Pac-Man World 2 is getting a remaster. Octopath Traveler 0 coming out. That was a game that was recommended to me on stream from some of you in the community, and I got hooked on Octopath Traveler. Played that on stream for a little bit too. I was trying to think of anything else from that Nintendo Partner Direct. Partner Showcase, whatever they call it. I think there was anything else announced from that. There's a new Hyrule Warriors game, well, updates on it. Monster Hunter Stories. A lot of games that had skipped the Switch because of weak hardware are starting to come to it, so like EA Sports is coming back to Nintendo. Wasn't any of those on that I'm aware of on the Switch too. I mean, they had FIFA and that, but they didn't have like Madden or anything else on there. Apex Legends is coming to the Switch too. Madden 26 coming to the Switch too. Star Wars Outlaws is coming. The studio that made the Silent Hill 2 remake has a game called Chronos: The New Dawn coming out. Oh yeah. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. Plants vs. Zombies, the original, is getting an HD remake. Experience the strategy game that started it all, Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. So that's coming out. Once Upon a Katamari is that one. That's coming out on the 24th of October. Yakuza Kiwami 2 and Yakuza Kiwami 1 is coming out. There's Pac-Man World 2. Final Fantasy Tactics, which I'm not really that excited for. Persona 3 Reload. Borderlands 4. Hello Kitty Island Adventure Wheatflower Wonderland, wherever that is. Shinobi, the new one coming out. There's a demo out for it right now, but the game's not coming out until later this month. So, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff coming out for the Switch. / Switch 2, but I don't know if anything looks too exciting for you guys. Like I said, I think that's going to do it for me tonight. Don't forget about the poll, where you guys can vote on which console had the best graphics. I put a link to all my polls that are currently out there. There's 3 of them. There's a 4th one that's going to launch sometime by the end of this week. And then I'll give it a couple weeks before I tally those results and finalize my videos for the 16-bit war for that. September, October, November. Those 3 months are looking like, I'm assuming November is when I'm going to start launching the 16-bit war. And yeah, I should have it done by then. Although, there's going to be a pause in the work. I got a lot of work done this summer on the 16-bit war, but there's a few more, there's a few things that definitely need to be done that are going to have to wait until school year gets started because I got a lot of prep work to do for that, but it's coming along. Been a lot of fun. It'll actually kind of be bittersweet when I release it because I've been working on this video and this concept for so long. Like, now that it's getting close to release, I'm starting to be like, wow, I can't believe the time's already here. Now, there'll be a point where I no longer have to work on I no longer get to work on the 16-bit war, so. I appreciate that, Rex, yep. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys have a great night, an even better week. If I don't see you throughout the week, hope to see you next Sunday for the stream. Oh, which may be postponed. I may have to do it on the Monday because, one of my friend's birthdays is next Sunday, so it depends on when he wants to do stuff. So, like I said, hope to see you guys next time on the stream. Have a good one, everybody.